Good evening, everyone. Taking our evening further, and to begin with, on this auspicious day, the 5th December 2020, is the launching of Digital RCRT. Today's children are the future of a state and country. Guruji, Rishi Prabhakarji, has been a source of motivating these young minds, and one of his vision is to take RCRT to each and every student in the world. RCRT, the Rapid Comprehension and Review Technique program, is designed to educate and allow students to accelerate their ability and capability to comprehend, process, and review their academic syllabus of a subject in just 8 to 10 days. To go digital was the brainchild of Arundhati Ma and Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar. The original program was developed by our beloved Guruji, Rishi Prabhakar ji. I, Sarita Nangya, welcome you on behalf of everyone present here, and a heartily welcome to the dignitaries and the guests. We have with us Shri Murli Mohal ji, who is a mayor of Pune. Right now he's not here, but he will be joining us very soon. We have Nitya Shanti ji, who is a spiritual trainer and a coach. We have with us Rama Devi Amma. We also have with us Dr. Swarup Datta and Mr. Yuvraj Kapadia, and also Radha Ma from Canada, who has been an old RSPK meditator. I would like to now cordially invite Shri Nitya Shanti ji, who is an ex-CRI graduate and a corporate employee turned Buddhist monk, turned spiritual teacher, and his self-appointed life aim is spreading happiness. I request him to come and speak and launch this program and grace us with his blessings. Nitya Shanti ji.
Thank you, Sarita, and namaste to everybody. Good to be here. I have had the privilege of briefly meeting Guruji Rishi Prabhakar in Pondicherry, and we had a good exchange many years back. And since I've come in contact with Siddhant, I'm very inspired to see the way he's taking his father's teaching forward in this present time in a way that's suitable to the current generation. The truth, while the truth remains a truth, for every generation, it has to be reinterpreted and shared in a new way, in a way that makes sense. And I think that's what Siddhant has done with this course. He's taken teachings. First of all, Guruji Rishi Prabhakar himself, from what I understand, when he met students and he realized how much stress they go through with their academics, that's what motivated him to create this course. And the results were mind-blowing, were astonishing. And so that course is now being reformatted and shared in a digital format in a way that students around the country and around the world actually can benefit. In fact, I think it's not just for students, it's for all of us. Because I don't know how many of us were given systematic teaching on how to learn. We were just expected to know how to learn. It's fascinating, right? We just assume that you'd know how to learn, you'd know how to understand. But we don't, and we have to be taught these things. So there is definitely a more effective way and a less effective way of learning. And I think what's being put together here is one of the more effective ways, which is accessing not only our conscious mind, but also our subconscious mind. It's a deeper understanding of our being. I lived as a monk for some years, and I was in Thailand. In Thailand, they don't really speak much English. Some of you know this. And I was in an international monastery. So we often had teachers coming and they'd teach us. Now, some of us new monks did not know Thai language. So it would be translated for us. Now, one fascinating thing I noticed was these teachers would sometimes speak continuously for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before they'd stop, and they'd give the interpreter a chance. And then those who understood both Thai and English would be amazed. The interpreter had gone on to say every single thing from the last 5, 10, 15 minutes without missing a single thing. Now, that's quite a feat of memory. So I remember asking these interpreters, how do you do it? I mean, how can you possibly remember a person speaking continuously for 15 minutes? How can you remember all of that? What's your method? So I was fascinated when he said to me, I don't try to memorize. I just empty my mind and I get really present. And I let what he's saying just flow through me. And then when it's time to interpret, I remember perfectly. So there is a connection between memory and awareness, present moment awareness. In fact, the word in Sanskrit is smriti. And that same word is used in Pali language as sati. And sati is another word for mindfulness. Ananda, who was the Buddha's cousin and also his assistant for the last many years of his life, was known to have a remarkable memory. He would remember, he actually made a few conditions before becoming the Buddha's assistant. And one of the conditions was, if you ever teach something and I'm not present, you have to come back and repeat it to me. That was one of the conditions he laid. Another condition he laid was that if you're ever given a gift, you're not allowed to share it with me, because otherwise monks are going to get jealous. A very interesting condition he laid down. He doesn't want to be given any special priority. So Ananda had the ability. He was called the treasurer of the Dhamma. He could remember sutras, long sutras, completely by memory. And again, his method was the same. He would listen with complete attentiveness. So there's a lot to learn from our Indian tradition, from our ancient tradition. And I remember meeting a scholar of Sanskrit. She's a multiple PhD in Sanskrit. And I said, how come? Because actually she's from the UK. So I said, how come you got interested in Sanskrit language? She said, first of all, it's not a language. I said, really? It's not a language? What is it? She said, Sanskrit is a technology. So what do you mean it's a technology? She said, yes, it's a technology of sound. It's an understanding of how the whole universe is based on vibration and frequency, and how certain vibrations and frequencies can unlock potentials inside of us. And this is why when Sanskrit is taught in a Gurukulam, typically the meaning is not given, because you're not involving the mind just yet. You just chant. And this is rote learning. We kind of look down on that, but actually this is a very advanced form of learning. You just recite. I had a friend whose son was sent to a Gurukulam for about 5 years. And when he returned after 5 years, his whole personality had changed. His face was shining. His chest had opened up from all that deep breathing and chanting. He would stand straight and he had a certain dignity and radiance about him. So there's a lot in our ancient tradition that we've lost. We'll keep looking at the West, and now the West is looking at the East. So I think the digital RCRT is one powerful step in the right direction. We're not denying what's happening in the current education system. We're taking what is there and we are making it more effective. And we're helping students learn how to learn in a more effective way so that they can do better in their exams. They can also retain better. And then they can go on to use the time that they save in things that they really love to do, instead of being anxious and stressed out all the time. A lot of the addictions children have now, whether it's to television or their phones or to video games, I believe it's not because they're naughty, it's because they're anxious. And this is like all of us. Some of us watch television, some of us go shopping. This is the way children use to get over their anxiety. And so digital RCRT will help in so many ways. It'll help mentally, it'll help emotionally, and it'll help students get in touch with a deep sense of self-esteem, self-confidence, that I'm worthy, I can deal with whatever academic challenges that come up. And like this, create a bright future for the coming generation and for every single one of us. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak.
Wow, that was super. Thank you, Nitya Shantiji, for sharing with us that memory and current awareness are connected, and so much to learn from our ancient treasures. And we can unlock our potentials, and RCRT is one of such techniques. Thank you for the connect, Nitya Shantiji. Thank you so much. I now take the opportunity to invite Srimati Radha Jairam. Radhama has been, as we lovingly called her, has been associated with RSVK since last 40 years. She has been a part of our RSVK family and very closely knitted to us. Residing in Canada, she takes forward the vision and mission of Rishi Sanskriti Vidya Kendra in all possible ways with ease. Welcome, Radha Ma, and now she will be introducing us to Guruji and Siddhant, to all of us here. Welcome, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It is indeed one of the highest honor to talk about Guruji, who himself was in my heart and soul an avatar, in ordinary form as every other human being. He never wanted to be held in any high position. He never wanted to stand on a podium. He wanted to meet each and every person as a soul coming to him for higher potential. It is one of the highest honor, and I would like to, at the outset, thank Arundhati Ma and Siddhant for having chosen me to talk about such a great soul. In fact, I am sure when I am speaking, every word that I'm going to talk could be much better spoken by thousands of the teachers he developed and the disciples. I'm sure I'm speaking from all of their hearts because he reached into everybody's soul to bring out the best potential. He stood for everybody. Every moment he stood for with the quality that springs from sense of responsibility for humanity, for him having been here, given a life. And also with that, he stood as a symbol of love and compassion. The only reason that Arundhati Ma and Siddhant have given me this privilege is because me and my husband knew him before he became Guruji. We had the fortunate opportunity to see him as just an ordinary student, but yet he was always extraordinary. And that drove him. He studied aeronautical engineering in Ottawa, Canada. He had one of the highest scholarships because he was a very high-ranking student in Bangalore Engineering College. And he had outstanding marks from there. And henceforth, when he was a student, he had one of the best scholarships, and he was a best student. After that, when he was pursuing MBA in University of Western Ontario, Canada, which was an Ivy League school at that time, one of the top 5 schools in those days for MBA program. Anybody who graduated MBA from there was assured already of a job. In those days, I'm talking about 1972, 73, when they could come out with jobs of over $100,000 a year. And he did. But he noticed that all that MBA was doing to him was to make him better than others in competition. Just who can run after a carrot faster than others? Who can give a new, improved methodology better than somebody else? It will last only until another mastermind comes up with another new, improved methodology. And this was the root cause of disease and disruption of mental stimulation. When he noticed that, he withdrew to transcendental meditation first, to the auspicious teachings of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He spent a couple of years with him one-on-one, and then he realized that is not be it all, end it all. So he went and sought after many other Indian great spiritual masters. And from there, he went to his childhood guru, Bhagwan Shri Vishveshwaraya, and in Bangalore. And he saw his own footsteps. The ability of a master is to be able to see his success, what he has achieved, what he has realized, and be able to trace those steps scientifically and put it forth that every other person can tread that same path, same steps, and achieve that much result or more. Just like Thomas Alva Edison found that electricity. But from there, how much has come? Because scientifically it could be proven. And that is what he did, starting in 1978, before all these modern gurus came to existence. And not only did he do that, he said, I'm not the only one who can be awakened. See God in yourself. And he freely gave away all the concepts, all the steps to anybody who came to him. That is how he created so many thousands of teachers. That I'm just a privileged one because we had known him even from before, and we watched him every step of the way. From that simple program of Siddha Samadhi Yoga, why did he call it Samadhi? He found that life is not about the Ashtanga Yoga of going from Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. He said one needs to look at it upside down. Yoga starts from Samadhi. He could easily bring, just like now we are able to switch on a light and make the whole room bright. He could switch on people and make them realize happiness is in the now. Happiness is in being able to accept the unacceptable in life. When he discovered that everything is okay became a mantra, he brought emotional quotient before anybody else started talking about it. I remember the Bhava Samadhi training that he introduced. It was first in Canada that he introduced. We were 35 of us. He just called, come, I want to see you all over 4 days, 5 days. And we dropped everything and went. And the 35 of us felt heaven on earth at the end of it, because we could all let go of, we could go into the deep roots of our emotions and understand that they were meaningless. From there started Bhava Samadhi. Like that, his spiritual progress went on and on until he really realized that this was something amazing. From there, he started seeing that Samadhi is the way. When you do anything from a state of Samadhi, that is Dharma. And that is where success is. Success is not in trying to look at somebody else and being one among the other people. Whenever you go into your own Samadhi, and what you realize brings you success. From there, he applied that to awakening a village, to cleaning the streets, to every action possible for a human being, and expanded the consciousness. And he built leaders and leaders and leaders. That he said, you are not a leader until you have developed everyone else to be greater leader than yourself. That was his philosophy. That is why all of us who remember him still get tears. And with that intention, he brought forth Siddhant. I think that is going to be another great gift to humanity. The RCRT was developed just like the way I said. He was a brilliant student. Getting a mark was something, an easy affair for him. It never meant anything serious for him, studies. So he traced himself, his steps back, and said every student should be able to learn without stress. And he created RCRT. And with that, he developed 3 gurukuls in his time, where the students started. The average mark of the students were 85% and above. And many of them scored 100 on 100 on all subjects easily. How you could remember what you study, not just for the exam, but throughout your life to help you. And that Siddhant, it is fortunate that, like just as Shri Nitya Shanti explained, he is taking it, bringing it to the present generation. Yes, the present generations have a wavering mind. There is too much information that is available to them. So their mind is constantly agitated. From that, to be able to reach this precious knowledge of RCRT to the present world, Siddhant has taken a leap and bringing it in such a fantastic manner. And I want to congratulate Arundhati Ma, who has stood by Siddhant in raising him to this level since last 8 years of Guruji's departure, with one focused mind of developing him. And he's going to be such a gift. I'm very fortunate to be able to have seen Siddhant growing up. Very proud of you, Siddhant, and looking forward to seeing much more from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Radhama. I totally agree. Guruji has created world leaders in RSPK as teachers, and sharing such intrinsic sharings of Guruji. It was really enlightening for us. Thank you once again, Ma. Now, I take this opportunity to invite Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, our next speaker. Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, fondly known as Chanakya Pillai, he is a teacher to his students, an author to his readers, a management trainer, consultant, and guide to his clients. He has been conferred with Sardar Patel National Award for his research on Chanakya. The Corporate Chanakya was his first book, a record-breaking highest number of pre-release sales for any first book for an author. His constant endeavor to spread Chanakya's ancient wisdom took him through loads of challenges, which he has managed to turn them into opportunities. This includes being a business strategy consultant to more than 200 organizations and training over 10,000 executives. Now, I would invite Radhakrishnan to share how through Chanakya Niti and how RCRT can benefit a child in its own way. Over to you.
Jai Gurudev to each one present over here. My namaskars to all the teachers, Arundhati Ma, and especially Siddhant, and also Manoj ji. I have been part of the teachings of Guruji for so many years. I have personally done the SSY program. I've benefited a lot, and I also applied a lot of the wisdom that Guruji taught us, even in my own family and my children. It's an honor to actually be part of the education system that we are all talking about right now. But in India, when we look at education system, it is part of a society as if without that we can't exist. We are probably one of those societies which doesn't give too much importance to kings, but more importance to the way the king is trained. As they say, Raja se bhi bada Raj Guru hota hai. And if you look at Guruji, if you look at the kind of a wisdom that he has given, he has actually said that, a leader is the one who creates more leaders. So first of all, my pranams to Guruji, who has actually inspired all of us to become leaders in our own spaces. Thank you, Siddhant, for giving this opportunity. Thank you, Arundhati, and thank you each one of us, each one of you who will be taking Guruji's vision forward. When Siddhant contacted me last time and we were discussing a lot, and he said, I will be required to speak for around 10 to 15 minutes on a subject which probably has become my lifeline, and that is Chanakya Niti. When Sarita ji was introducing me, they say I've been known as Chanakya Pillai. No, I'm not. That is not my name. My name is Radhakrishnan Pillai. And with some PhD degree, it became a Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. But the reality is that I've been, of course, working on Chanakya. And he told me that, I'll be actually speaking on the education through the perspective of Chanakya. It is such a wonderful topic because in India, as it is said, everybody is a teacher. Okay, so the mother is the first guru, father is the guru, everybody is a guru. And therefore, Taittiriya Upanishad talks about what a student should do after he passes out from the Gurukul, where we talk about the Dikshanta ceremony. And that is called the graduation ceremony. And while you go out, you should practice certain things lifelong. So the first thing is that education doesn't end with your formal education, and you should continue getting educated. So what are the kind of instructions given? Very clearly, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava, etc., etc., etc. So here I would like to bring in the Chanakya dimension about education. The good part is that he himself was a teacher and his father was also a teacher. And we see that in Siddhant, he's carrying the legacy forward. Now, Chanakya's father was a teacher, and that inspired Chanakya to become a teacher. Now, you have to understand, Chanakya, many of us know from various viewpoints and standpoints. Some people say he was a strategist, a statesman. Some people say he was a shrewd philosopher. Some people call him a very practical philosopher. Some people call him an economist. But I think if you were to ask Chanakya, who was he? So the answer would have been, I'm a teacher, I'm a sikshak. And when you study deeply about Chanakya, you start realizing a teacher who taught leaders who in turn changed the society. A teacher who created leaders who in the next step, created a different society. So I would like to just give 3 takeaways today on Chanakya and education, because the field is so vast. After 20 years also, I feel I've not even understood Chanakya. It's almost like the tip of the iceberg. But since we are all teachers and on a spiritual journey, these 3 points would be like a takeaway for each one of us. The first point, what kind of a teacher was he? The second one is what kind of a students did he want? And the third is what kind of a society or nation that he wanted to create. So the first one is what kind of a teacher was he? He was a person who believed in spirituality and reality. Now, this is very, very interesting. Spirituality and reality. We are such fortunate people to be born or at least be associated with the Rishi culture, the Rishi Parampara. Spirituality is the greatest gift of India to the world. Meditation is India's gift to the world. And you'd be surprised, Chanakya believed that his teachings will not only be for the worldly success, but also beginning with spiritual success. So the kind of a teacher that he was, he believed that we should be practical philosophers and we should be dynamically spiritually oriented teachers. So the message that we would learn from Chanakya's life on education is that every teacher, half of us are teachers here already, we have to understand this. Please let us look at a life of practical spirituality, which of course Guruji has done for all of us. How do we turn around? How do we think differently? How do we turn around the minds of students? So he was a teacher who believed that we need to have two things. One is called Abhyudaya and the second is called Nishrayasa. So we should have worldly success, but beginning with spiritual success. That's what he said. Artha based out of dharma. This is Chanakya's quote. So you need to create wealth. We should not think poor at all. I am rich. But richness out of what? Based out of dharma. So this is the kind of a teacher he was. He taught practical spirituality. The second aspect is what kind of a students he had or he expected. Remember, Chanakya was a leadership guru. He was not training the ordinary. He was a Raj Guru. And what he expected is that when the students go out after learning Raja Vidya or Artha Shastra from him, they will not just go and become power hungry. They will not just go and say, I want to conquer the world. They would be Raja Rishis. So the kind of students he created where they were the people who practice spirituality when they are leading the kingdoms. This is something very, very important for us to understand, that all teachers should focus on creating not just students who are job seekers, but probably wealth creators. So let us all believe that we should think about leadership is what we should encourage our students, our next generation to learn from us. If you look at all great leaders in every field, it is the mothers who inspired them. Shivaji was taught by Jija Mata. And you'd be surprised, Swami Vivekananda quotes it very clearly, again and again, that it is his mother who inspired him towards spirituality. Of course, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is there, but it all starts from home. And they were the one who inspired them to say, go and, succeed in the world. So my request is that all of us should encourage our students to be Raja Rishis. Wherever they go, whichever field they choose, it's not necessarily politics, but think like leaders. And India specifically is at a point in history where the world is looking at us, our leaders. Look at the IBMs, look at the Microsoft, look at the Googles. We are all leading them. Not only in the corporate world, even in the academic world. Across the globe, half of the universities that I have visited have got Indian professors and deans. So think about it. Now think about every field. We are there. But are we creating the Raja Rishis? Along with leaders, are we creating those students who will work out of the basis of spirituality? And the third important point, what kind of a society did Chanakya want to create? And that is something we see as a legacy in our own organization, what Guruji has done. In the society which was very wealthy, yes, Chanakya was an economist. He made sure everybody is wealthy. But he said very clearly, we should have a Guru Sishya Parampara going on. In a society, everybody is a teacher. We don't require a formal school or a university to be a teacher. You'd be surprised. At home, we can teach. So the society that he created was a knowledge society, a wise society, a society that meditates. Yes, my dear friends, it is very important to know that we need to look at Chanakya from a teacher's dimension, but who created leaders and a different society. The last point that I would like to mention, probably connected to education, is about parenting, because Guruji actually taught us the right way of parenting also. So while making my last point, I like to quote a Chanakya Sutra on how parents should be good parents. Guruji has given us so many formulas, ISP, this, that. It's all working very fine with all of us. We know the results. Chanakya also believed in practical parenting. And here is a sutra for all of us. He says, for the first 5 years, love the child. next 10 years, discipline the child. And after that, consider the child as your friend. Panchavarshani lalayati. So, the child, even if it breaks your latest mobile, you can't do anything. The child doesn't have that kind of an intellect to understand, the wisdom to understand what is right or wrong. So just love the child unconditionally. But when the brain develops, Guruji always used to talk about brain science. That time you have to teach them what is Viveka. And you should also teach them what is Vairagya. I remember this when I had met Guruji. I met him many times. One of the times he told me very clearly, at one hand, we should have Viveka, the discrimination capacity. On the other hand, we should also have Vairagya, the dispassion. So we should know that we need to discipline the children also, that this is not good for you and this is good for you. So that's where we have a lot of, places where today parenting are also getting confused. It's not about being yes, yes, yes. You should also tell them no, no, no. And very clearly, discipline doesn't mean only physically punishing. It's an intellectual process. It's a mental process. So it's very important to discipline the child. But the last part is very important. Chanakya said, after 15 years, consider your children as your friends. Don't look at them as children forever. Generation gap is not a concept from India. After 15 years, we, of course, respect our parents, but the parents also look at the children as equals. We learn from each other. The modern management talks about this as reverse mentoring. Maybe you can learn from your children what is good for you because they come out with different perspectives. And it is said that, in the technology and the digital era, they can be actually your gurus. So when you don't know how to use your mobile, don't go to an iPhone shop or a mobile shop. Just give it to your child and say, beta, just let me know if it is working fine, and you'll be surprised. He will find a solution or she will find a solution immediately. I just want to conclude by saying, let us all continue to be part of this great Guru Sishya Parampara that Guruji has started. Let us all continue to be teachers and students forever. But let us believe that at the end of it, we'll create a beautiful world, a beautiful society where we are actually rich from outside and inside. Internally, completely rich because we are free, we are not attached. Externally, we have all the material wealth, but totally detached. Let us remember what Chanakya said. Praja sukhe sukham rajnah prajanam chahite hitam. In the happiness of the people is the happiness of the king or the leader. So let us all be leaders who will actually make the society happy through spirituality and divinity. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai ji, for sharing with us such a deep knowledge on Chanakya and Chanakya. You just shared with us the practical spirituality, richness out of dharma. And so being with Raj Rishis, creating Raj Rishis, right? So if you have the time, you can do more personality development, and RCRT gives you that time to create and use your time for such overall personality. I really thank you for such a wonderful insight. I now, with the blessing of Amma, request our Shri Radhakrishnan Pillai ji, who is our current Chief Mayor of Pune. Yes, Chief Mayor of Pune, to do the inauguration, the launching of Digital RCRT. A little about Muralidhar ji. We are certainly grateful for him for courteously and gladly accepting our invitation to be a part of this launch today. He is a highly respected figure in the society and well known for his accomplishments. I request him to take this further and share with us few words on the impact of RCRT on the education and how it will benefit the student in this current situation. Over to you, Shri Muralidhar ji. Yes, welcome.
नमस्ते, आवाज आ रही है?
जी जी आ रही है।
सबको मेरा नमस्कार। इस वेबिनार में जो गेस्ट है, पार्टिसिपेंट जो है, सबको मेरा मन से नमस्कार। आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू बी ए पार्ट ऑफ टुडेस इवेंट I believe that digital RCRT is a phenomenal product. Guruji Shri Rishi Prabhakar of SSY and RCVK has done a tremendous service to society and has helped thousands of people across the globe. His efforts are commendable when learning of digital RCRT through Siddhanta and Arundhati Rishi Prabhakar. I was amazed and surprised that such a course exists. Digital RCRT can drastically change the way students are educated. I congratulate Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar on developing this course. I know that it will support thousands of students in India and around the world. I believe that Siddhant has taken a big leap for this betterment of education and will support national development. मुझे लगता है कि ये जो जनरेशन है और आने वाली जनरेशन भी है, इसके लिए जो शिक्षा का माध्यम है ये और अच्छी तरह से ये जनरेशन अच्छी तरह से भारत का नागरिक बनाने के लिए मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहेगा। और इस उपक्रम के लिए मैं पूरी पुणे वासियों की तरफ से सिद्धांत को और अरुंधति जी को हार्दिक बधाई देता हूँ। और मुझे लगता है कि एक बहुत बड़ी एजुकेशन की फील्ड में एक क्रांति अगर बोलते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि कोई गलत नहीं होगा। इसीलिए एक अच्छा जो उपक्रम है, ये जो डेवलप किया कोर्स अच्छे तरह से जो अभी चल रहा है, इसको मेरी तरफ से एक हार्दिक बधाई मैं देता हूँ। और थोड़ा सा आगे जाके भी इसके माध्यम से अगर इस आप जो काम चल रहा है इसमें जुड़ने का अगर भी सौभाग्य मिलता है तो भी मैं पॉजिटिवली इस पे काम करना भी चाहूँगा, आपके साथ जुड़ना भी चाहूँगा। और आज इस वेबिनार में सिद्धांत ने मुझे ज्वाइन किया है, तो मुझे लगता है कि एक आगे ऐसा ही काम अगर आप जो कर रहे हैं उसमें सहभागी होने के लिए भी मुझे जरूर आनंद होगा। मेरी तरफ से एक हार्दिक बधाई इस उपक्रम को मैं देता हूँ। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
थैंक यू सो मच मुरलीधर जी, आपका ये कीमती समय हमारे साथ शेयर करने के लिए, और आपका जो हमें आपका बताना कि यू विल टोटली सपोर्ट सिद्धांत इज अ ग्रेट थिंग फॉर अस, क्योंकि हम चाहते हैं कि ये दूर तक फैले। एंड एज यू सेड, क्रिएटिंग अ रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। थैंक यू सो मच मोहन जी।
ऋषी संस्कृती विद्या केंद्राच्या तर्फे मी एक पुष्पगुच्छ देऊन त्यांचं मी आभार मानतो जॉईन झाल्याबद्दल।
थैंक यू सो मच।
जय गुरुदेव।
नमस्ते। जय गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव। जय गुरु। It was wonderful having him with us today. Now let me take you ahead and invite our next speaker, Shri Dr. Swarup Dattaji, who is an inspirational coach and an educationalist. Dr. Swarup Dattaji is the principal of MSM English School, Malkapur, Maharashtra. He holds a degree not only in BHMS, but in also a Master Black Belt in Lean Sigma, Certified Green Belt and Global Career Counselor from University of Los Angeles. He has 18 years of experience as visionary leader and educator. He is a storehouse of experience in diverse fields: education, research, training, medicine, manufacturing, quality assurance, brand management, and IT. Trained more than 15,000 corporate employees and 5,000 teachers. Dr. Swarup Datta is deeply inspired by the teachings of Guruji Shri Rishi Prabhakar ji, and strongly believe that the thoughts of Guruji should spread among the students who are the future citizens to make this world a better and prosperous place to live in. I now invite him to speak few words about this program and share his views on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. First of all, my regards to the dignitaries on this virtual stage. When Arundhati Ma on a Facebook chat invited me to be one of the speakers, I was not only delighted, but I was just thinking what made her, give me this opportunity. And then when I saw the list of speakers, and in those, there were names of Radhakrishnan Pillai and Nitya Shantiji, I was simply overwhelmed because Radhakrishnan Pillai, as you can see, I'm just carrying a book of his still in my hand. There are 4 more in my school library or my principal's room that I sit in. And Nitya Shantiji is someone whom I follow regularly. I'm a part of his group as well. And I started following him, I think from 2007 or 2008. And when I came to this place called Malkapur in 2015, the president of our school management committee, that is Dr. P.G. Mohta, he introduced me to the concepts of Rishi Prabhakar. And I heard about the programs like SSY, ISP, RCRT, and I was instantly drawn towards it. In that very year, we around 100 teachers completed the SSY program in our school itself. And then I developed this liking for RCRT, which took me even to Pune, to the flat of Arundhati Ma, where I had a short meeting with her to discuss about how we can take it to the students of our school. And then I visited the ashram of Kathar Khadak, where I got the chance of meeting a few children who just completed the RCRT program. And interacting with them, I got this idea very clear that this can really do wonders if given to the children of the school. Now, today I'm going to present a short topic, which is about the field that I belong to, education, and a few questions that we have in our minds. So the first thing is, I see a lot of parents are there in the group as well, and the teachers are there. So the first question that comes to our mind is what we are planning for our children: doctors, engineers, IAS, lawyers, or recently, as you can see on the television ads, there are people who are highlighting that your child can develop an app by being creative. And there will be a line outside your house for companies coming and trying to develop their apps through that child. Now the question is our education system making our kids ready for the 21st century, developing the skill sets in our kids required for the future, and most importantly, whatever is being highlighted right now, is coding a skill for the future? Now, there is a sort of a mismatch in our education system. As you can see in the slide itself, that the 21st century students are being taught in 20th century buildings with a 19th century educational design. So that these things are, century apart from each other. So now the question is how well these things fit into each other. Now, when it comes to questions like, is coding going to be a skill for the future? If my child learns coding right now, can he get a proper job in the 21st century? The answer is a big no. And there is one more fact that I want to point out, and I will then relate it to what programs like Digital RCRT has to do. There are people called trend analyzers. There are people called trend analyzers, and these trend analyzers are predicting that out of the jobs that will exist in the 21st century, they do not exist right now at all. So these jobs are not there. So our children are going to work in those jobs which are not there today. So what we are actually preparing the children for? Martin Ford, who is also a futurist. So whatever I was talking about is that we are talking about the future. We are trying to prepare our children for the future. And we are attending a program today which is talking about the Digital RCRT, how it is going to benefit our child, but we need to understand how we can fit in digital RCRT into our education system. So Martin Ford, as I was talking about, Martin Ford is a futurist who declared that, of the jobs that people will do in the 21st century, plenty of those jobs exist today. So, as you can see the previous slide, 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 haven't been invented yet. And 65% of the children in primary school today will work in jobs that don't exist yet. All right, so what I was talking about is that we are preparing our children for jobs that do not exist right now. They will be existing after maybe 20 years, 30 years from now. So what we are trying to prepare our kids for. This 21st century, we are preparing them for medical course and engineering and burdening them with the syllabus that they need to follow. They hardly have time these days. I've seen how hard the children are preparing for the NEET examinations and IIT preparations. So these children do not get time at all for other aspects. Now, when we talk about what jobs are going to be there in the 21st century, there are 3 types of jobs that will be existing. Though Radhakrishnan Pillai has very clearly said that it's not only about getting a job, it's about leadership, which the programs of great people like Chanakya and right now even Rishi Prabhakar, whenever I heard about all the programs that he has designed, his whole idea is to create leaders. So to create leaders, to create innovators, to create problem solvers, we need to build in this qualities in the children in the school itself. Now, how is it possible when we are overburdening the kids with mathematics and science and English and Hindi and all these subjects? Where is the time where the problem solving skills, where the creativity skills can be honed in the children? Now there comes the need of a program which can finish off the syllabus in just probably 1 or 2 months, and the remaining 8 or 10 months, children will get enough time to prepare the 21st century skills. The 21st century skills like creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, all these skills cannot be just found in the pages of the book. So the children need time for that. And to give those that important time to the children, there has to be a curriculum which has to be designed in a particular way, which the children can learn in a stress-free way without spending much time, and then learn skills like computational thinking. Now, what is this computational thinking that I'm talking about? In the days to come, there will be 4 skills that will be very, very important for the children. The first skill is, whenever there's a problem, how to decompose the problem, break it into small parts, and approach small parts individually. Or even a team can approach each individual part. That's called decomposition. The second part is called, pattern recognition. So what is pattern recognition? For example, if you find that your dog is running to the kitchen and coming back again at you and barking, and again running to the kitchen and coming back and barking, you can safely infer that there's something wrong in the kitchen. So these type of patterns are there in every field, whether it's a medical field, it's an engineering field. So the students need to understand how to recognize patterns. The third thing is called abstraction. In this abstraction, only that much information is to be passed on to the other people, which is required. For example, we all know that a globe is not, the earth is not exactly around a sphere. But when we look at a globe, it's exactly spherical. Why? Because that helps the children to understand the different things like rotation, revolution, and so on. So abstraction is something that you give a particular knowledge to a particular child as much as required. And the fourth one is algorithm, based on which the entire world operates today. If you want to see a few videos on YouTube, it's the algorithm that decides which video will come on your screen and which will not. Now, to learn these particular things, there are different ways that can be done in the school, the different activities to be done in the school. And the school hardly gets time to do all these activities because all the 8 periods are packed with teaching of academic subjects in the book. Now, when I heard first time about this RCRT program from Dr. Mohta, who is the president of our school management committee, I was very, very happy that there is a solution for everything that I thought was a problem. So this particular solution, the Digital RCRT, which can help a child complete the entire syllabus of a particular subject in 8 to 10 days, is remarkable. And then we have all read about the stories of Swami Vivekananda, who sat in a library and completed reading the entire book by just flipping over the pages. And we only thought about that it is possible only because he is Swami Vivekananda. But have we ever realized that our kids can have those qualities as well? We are just not allowing them. We are not allowing them to, read fast, go through the entire text according to his speed. We are dictating and we are making the children slow because we want a syllabus which can be covered in actually 2 months to be spread across the entire 1 year. Now, the new education policy is talking about a lot of things. A lot of promises are there. In that, the space that the children need is given to them. That's the first and most important thing, that they are not, be burdened by the bookish knowledge that they carry. In India, the greatest drawback of the Indian education system, as most educationists believe, is that we create bookish knowledge, the children with bookish knowledge. They are not knowledge creators. And to create knowledge, you need to have space. You cannot just create something when you're overburdened with something else. So to be creators, that breathing space has to be given, which is possible through a program like Digital RCRT. That's the first and foremost thing that we need to understand. Now, there will be objections. When I see that when we take it to the different people, they do not believe that, how can a syllabus be completed in 8 to 10 days? Is it practically possible? What the child will learn? Now, in that case, I can just tell you, it's not only when I went and saw these children in Rishi Gurukulam or Maralwadi Ashram, I have personally witnessed that what they have done and how they have learned. In fact, I am one person who has always prepared like that. I have always prepared my entire syllabus in 1 month, whether it's my graduation, it's my master's, it's my medical, whatever I have done, I have just prepared. I didn't know about the wonderful techniques of Guruji that time. I designed something of my own to remember, and I always approach that in 1 month. So this is, I feel, that practically feasible for every student without, letting them, parents fill their ears that it needs 12 months to complete a syllabus. It can be done in one month. It can be done in 8 days. And this Digital RCRT is just that. I'm very, very happy that none other than Guruji's son, Siddhantji, has come out with this particular Digital RCRT program. No one could have been a better person than him. And I sincerely congratulate him. And as a CBSE master trainer, I will definitely, inform about this particular program in all the future webinars that I'm going to conduct. I conduct webinars every month on behalf of CBSE. So I have taken this as a mission that I will spread this information to all CBSE principals and teachers, that what this program is all about. They need to know about it first, and then they can apply it. They can witness themselves by visiting these ashrams, that what wonderful work these people have done, and the children are, reproducing the knowledge as it is without any stress. So another very important thing that I thought of sharing is the lockdown period. This lockdown period itself is a time when the children are given online education. Half of them are not attentive. They are not, focusing on online content, or sometimes they are missing it out and missing a part of the syllabi. Now, there is a time right now where the children need to make up for all the lost time. They have lost time since April. It's already the month of December. Now, how can they finish the entire syllabus, especially the board going batch? In 1 or 2 months, 30% syllabus reduction has already been done. But I feel that this is where the program like RCRT really fits in. When RCRT program is given to these children who are preparing for the board or annual examination, they can cover the entire syllabus in just 15, maximum 8 to 10 days or 15 days max, and then they can approach the examination. And the additional time that they will have, they can just have a lot of fun, follow their passion, develop critical thinking, creative thinking, pursue their hobbies, and this will make them global citizens. At the end, I would also like to thank people like, of course, I have already thanked Nitya Shantiji and Radhakrishnan Pillai ji. I find in the list of people, Amma, Guruji's mother, my pranam to her, the meditators of SSY, and of course, I also find Manoj ji in the list, whom I listen to every day, just like I do Nitya Shantiji. So pranam to Manoj ji as well. Lot of videos I'm inspired by Manoj ji, and I make it in my YouTube channel. Whatever Manoj ji has shared, whatever Nitya Shantiji has shared, I try to get the bits and pieces of those things and share it in my YouTube channel, because I have a follower of my students who may not be listening to those videos. So if sometimes I imitate you, I beg my forgiveness for that. And my wholehearted support and congratulations to Siddhanji for this wonderful program. And as a principal, as an educator, as a CBSE master trainer, I can tell you this is a very, very scientific program. I have personally witnessed it, and I recommend strongly for all the children who are attending the program today. If there are parents, do not hesitate to enroll your children. And I will definitely enroll my son as well, who is giving a board exam this year. I will enroll him personally in this program, and I recommend all others to do it. So thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dattaji. And I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have really shared with us all the intrinsics which the children are going through in this period and how the education systems have prevented them from growing as a leaders. So now my next question is to the parents, as he has put it. You decide, are we preparing our children for the 21st century? If not now, then when? So taking ahead this program, I would like to once again invite Nitya Shantiji, who would be sharing with us his great insightfulness about this program. Yes, over to you, Nitya Shantiji.
All right, good to be back. And it's been lovely listening to, I'm actually missing the voice of the youngsters. You have all these, this is all about students, isn't it? And
Yes.
in China recently, because of lockdown, all the students were having to learn online. So they didn't want to do homework. So they went to the app store and they gave lots of negative reviews to the homework app. The homework app was removed. And that's the naughtiness we saw right now also, as Swaroop was presenting his lovely presentation. The kids figured out how to scribble on it. None of us could figure out how do you disable this thing? And I think that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing, that the children are smarter than us in many ways. And we need to encourage them to learn in a way that makes sense to them. You know, it's a really valid question, that how come in the schools we never ask students, what do you want to learn? It's a very simple question, but nobody ever asked me in school, what do I want to learn? They told me what I should learn. And I think this is the main problem that we have in education right now, that there is no connection between what we're doing and why we're doing it. We're not really linking interest to what's happening. So I think what's powerful for me in this, now not everybody can homeschool or unschool their kids, although that's really powerful. Now, given the system we do have, how do we teach the kids to, like Rishi Prabhakar would say, you know, studies is not a problem, marks is not a problem. That's the kind of confidence I would like all the kids to have, so that then they can go on to do things they're really interested in. Because, you know, education system is like a big dinosaur. It's like a big ship. It takes a long time to turn. It's not going to change anytime soon. So we have to work with the system and give them tools to learn quickly what they need to learn, and now use the rest of the time for their interests. Now, whether that interest is computers, whether the interest is art, whether it's sports, or whether it's some other aspect of life. Somebody, I was listening to a talk the other day, and someone was saying there are 3 questions. You know, we ask children, "Bade hoke kya banoge?" What will you do when you grow up? And he was saying that this is not a very good question to ask children. I mean, how do children really know at this time, "Bade hoke kya banenge?" But better questions to ask would be things like, what experiences do you want to have in your life? Another question is, how do you want to grow as a human being? What are the skills you want to develop as a human being? And how do you want to leave the world a better place in your life? And I went to a school where they would give us a full week we would spend dreaming about the world we want to grow up into. 30 years from now, 40 years from now, what will the world look like? What will housing look like? What will clothing look like? What will food look like? What will travel look like? What will jobs look like? And we were asked to dream without limit and make drawings and write poems and write articles. And we were asked to really open our minds up. And so from that, I got really inspired. I said, I want to invent something that enables people to be invisible. And no one laughed at me. No one made fun of me. But all right, you want to make something that's invisible. Now, what do you have to learn to become invisible? I said, oh, I had 2 dreams actually. One was people should become invisible. And second, there should be no hunger. So everyone should have food. And my teachers actually encouraged me. So as a result, quite young in my schooling, I was studying high-level physics, high-level chemistry, high-level biology. What students normally study in class 10 or even in university, I was studying that in class 4 and 5. And I think this is something that's missing. And the only way to create that in our current system is tools like Digital RCRT, where they learn to complete their syllabus nicely in a short period of time. You know, I had to do this in college, where I was very interested in meditation. So I would not attend too many of my college classes. I would go and either teach meditation or practice meditation. In fact, I had a meditation teacher's house who was close to my college. So all my free time, I'd go and meditate in her house. Now, towards the end of the year, of course, now we're in trouble. Now we have to study because the exam is coming. So I would use a technique called mind maps. I would sit and go through my entire curriculum. I would make a big chart paper and I would summarize the entire subject on one chart paper, make a gigantic mind map. And I would use visualization. I'd visualize myself going to the exam hall, getting my favorite seat, looking at the question paper, smiling, feeling totally confident, and then going ahead and getting exactly the kind of marks I wanted. And using tools like this, I was able to study what you normally study in a year in a few weeks or in a month's time. And so even though I don't know exactly the details of Digital RCRT, I know that it's similar teachings. It's about learning to summarize and learning to review in a way that makes more sense. And now that gives you time to now pursue your other interests. There's a lovely teaching in Japan called Ikigai. Some of you may have heard of this. Ikigai has got 4 parts to it. What you're good at, what you love to do, what benefits others, and what pays your bills. And all 4 are important. And in today's India, parents are only interested in the 4th one. Achha, will it give you money? Will it pay you? What will pay you? Lawyer will pay you. Doctor will pay you. Engineer will pay you. And they don't look at the other 3 parts which are equally important. What are you good at? And what do you love to do? And what can make a positive difference in the world? And it's important for all 4 to be addressed. And that's when genuine interest, genuine passion can come back into our learning system. You know, my brother once said to me, there is no difference between someone who cannot read and someone who does not read. I found that very simple statement very powerful. So many of us have been so put off by learning through school and college that we decided I'm never going to read again. Unless I'm forced to, I'm never going to read again. So there is no big difference between us, a person who cannot read, and a person who does not read. And maybe at the most, what you read is newspapers, right? So if you want to be upgrading, we have to be lifelong learners, not only in school. In fact, I'm feeling that Siddhant should offer me also a way to access. Well, I think I'm going to learn a lot. I've got so many books piled up that I haven't got to. And maybe I can use the Digital RCRT program to go through these books and speed learn some of these things. So I think I've taken enough time, but I'm really looking forward to this reaching a lot of students. So many students in India are so stressed out. You know, we cannot imagine the problems of the current generation. Every generation has totally unique problems. Like probably in your generation, I'm talking to the grown-ups here, you probably never experienced cyberbullying because there was no cyberbullying to happen. You never experienced people ignoring you and your comments on a Facebook and not liking your posts on Facebook. This is a whole different problem that we have never experienced. So the kind of challenges the current generation faces, we cannot just use we studied so hard, we did it. No, it's not the same thing. It's a totally different set of challenges. And increasingly, education systems are not lining up to the realities of what tomorrow's world is going to be like. So I can understand that children feel disheartened and disconnected. So here's a great chance for children to quickly finish their curriculum and use the rest of their time for things that they love to do and enjoy doing, and in a way create their own curriculum. That's how, in a way, I have learned in the schools that I went to, where I got a chance to study what I wanted to. And I would love for all of us to remain lifelong learners. The true meaning of the word educate, according to Aristotle, is to have a thought and not believe it. If you're believing your own thinking, you may be literate, but you're not educated. And Mahatma Gandhi was asked, what's the biggest danger for the liberated India? And Mahatma Gandhi said, after a moment, he thought for a moment, he said, the biggest danger to India after freedom is heartless intellectuals. Heartless intellectuals. People who are caught up in their head and they're not in touch with their values. They're not in touch with their heart. They're not in touch with the ground realities of life. So I would love for this wonderful teaching to enable learning to be much more joyful for all of us and to bring back the life and the spirit of true education. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Sarita, and thank you, Siddhant.
Thank you so much, Nitya Shantiji. I think I would not have the words to describe the way you have described your experience. So it was really a treat for us, the way you have described about our culture. The most important question that came into my mind, and I would like to put this across to the audiences, How do you want to leave this world is a very in-depth question which all of us need to answer ourselves. So I leave this to you, and the importance of RCRT, how it will make a difference in the life of every child. I will start and move ahead with a beautiful quote. Do not be led by others. Awaken your own mind. Amass your own experience and decide for yourself your own path. This is a beautiful quote from the Atharveda, which perfectly fits in here. I now take this opportunity and invite Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar, who has been a very young, who is a very young social entrepreneur and founder of the Digital RCRT. He will take us down as to how RCRT and what it took him to develop this program. Over to you, Siddhant.
So, namaste. Wish you all a very good evening. I'm Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar, and first and foremost, I'd love to thank each and every one of the speakers that we've had this evening. Thank you, Nitya, Radhakrishnan ji, thank you, Swaroop ji, and thank you, Radha Ma, for the wonderful introduction. It was a pleasure to have Sri Murlidhar Moharji at this event, and thank you for gracing us with the wonderful words. As stated earlier by Sarita ji, Digital RCRT is an edtech startup wherein we have converted a physical course into a digital course. Digital RCRT is a product through which a student is empowered to finish the academic syllabus of one subject in just 8 to 10 days. Yes, that's right, in just 8 to 10 days. We use a process which was developed by my father. The process of developing Digital RCRT took me about 8 months. We started developing Digital RCRT early on in mid-March. And let me be honest with you. When I started developing Digital RCRT, I was hit with questions such as, how do I convert a physical course into a digital course? Or how do I give the physical experience to a person sitting on the other side of the screen? These were questions which prompted me to think and led to a 2 months deep research, after which I was able to develop the Digital RCRT course. It's an honor to be presenting the course to you all. In the past 8 months, there have been so many things that have changed in my environment. The COVID-19 pandemic, for instance. But there is one thing that has always been constant in my life, which is the support, motivation from my mother, Arundhati Rishi Prabhakar. Arundhati Rishi Prabhakar is also the co-founder of Digital RCRT. My mother started her entrepreneurial journey at the age of 18, 25 years back. Since then, she has motivated me to take forward my entrepreneurial skills, and today I stand here as a budding social entrepreneur. I thank my mother wholeheartedly. I'd like to thank my father, Guruji, for blessing us with wonderful knowledge through which we are able to empower the lives of millions of students and adults all around the world. As my grandmother, Ramadevi Amma, is also present here, I thank her for her constant support and guidance. Now, let's move on and dive deep into Digital RCRT. So, what exactly is Digital RCRT? RCRT stands for the Rapid Comprehension and Review Technique. Through RCRT, a student can complete one academic subject in just 8 to 10 days. We use a number of learning techniques and learning processes through which students can do this. Digital RCRT is a self-learning course through which students can learn independently at any time of the day and from anywhere around the world, from their comfort of the homes. Digital RCRT can be used by any learner. Nitya, you can definitely go ahead and learn digital RCRT. But this course is specifically designed for students from the 6th grade all the way up to students graduating in university. As stated by Dr. Pillai and Dr. Swaroop Datta, education has become very stressful. The main focus of education in India has completely changed. I myself am a student, and one thing that I've noticed in the education system is the competitiveness of the whole system. It's ironical that parents stand in line for years to get an admission into a particular school or college. The funniest part is that some parents even stand in line before the child is born. This competitiveness leads to academic and mental stress among students. As a child, I've always seen myself being curious, and I've always seen myself and others open to learning. At times, some students are disinterested in what is happening in class. And we somehow term that student as a bad student and some as a good students. Now, this is where the flaw lies. If we as individuals and responsible adults aren't able to intrigue students, that is the failure of us in the system. This disinterest leads to poor marks and poor participation of students. And because of the competitiveness, students are unable to take part in other activities. On top of this system, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has created tremendous stress in families. And students, being the youngest, are the ones hit the hardest. Students are forced to learn online, have online classes through Zoom and many other mediums. And at times, learning doesn't happen online. A solution to all of this is digital RCRT. As I've stated earlier, digital RCRT empowers students to complete one subject in just 8 to 10 days. It eases education, makes education faster and more rapid. Once a student has completed their academic syllabus through digital RCRT, they can focus on their other interests and work towards getting a potential of 100 on 100 marks through 100% memory. As stated by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, in India, we have been successful in enlarging education. When the British left, there was a literacy rate of only 16%. And today, we are at an all-time high between 70 to 80%. However, we have failed in creating excellence in education. Through digital RCRT, a student can quickly finish their academic syllabus, and thus they can work on excellence and increasing their potential as a human being and as a student. In digital RCRT, we make use of the digital medium to teach students the technique through which they are empowered to study independently. And using the digital medium, we can deliver digital RCRT to millions of students all around the world. Now you must be asking that how is this possible? How can students learn a subject in just a span of 8 to 10 days? Well, to summarize everything for you, RCRT can be divided into 4 subcomponents that are acquisition, summarization, comprehension, and revision. In RCRT, we allow students to acquire tons of information from their textbook. I want to ask you all one question. What was the first novel that you read? It must have been a very long time when you read your first novel. Maybe about 10 to 15 years back at least. Do you remember the storyline of that novel? Do you remember the characters? I am sure you do. How many times did you read that novel? just once. Again, when you read the newspaper today morning, how many times did you have to read it to remember news given in the newspaper? Only once, right? Then why is it that you need to go through your textbook multiple times to be able to remember information from it? It's because of the seriousness that we give to our textbooks. When you have an easy, chill attitude towards your textbook, you are able to acquire more information and thus would be able to gain and retain more information. So that's the first step of RCRT. The next step is where we teach you how to summarize the sea of information. A textbook has chapters starting from 15 to 30 pages. Now through RCRT, you can compress this chapter into a point-like structure of just 10 pages. Next, from 10 pages, we empower students to convert their 20 to 30 page chapter into a one-page pictorial representation. Once you've seen your chapter and you're able to look at it through a one-page pictorial representation, revising your subject is fairly simple and fairly quick. It takes you barely minutes to revise an entire subject. Think of the reduced time through which you can revise your subject. RCRT is a scientifically backed technique. We use two main scientific concepts. The first being the mnemonic link system and the second being the method of loci. The mnemonic link system is referred to as a system through which memories are formed in chains or links. Let me ask you one question. When you think of a particular word or a particular concept, do you not end up at a thought which is completely unrelated to this? That is how memory works. Through RCRT, we teach students how to create such memories wherein they can recall their entire subject with just one or two words. The method of loci is referred to memory recollection through signs and signifiers. In the method of loci, you create a visual representation of your entire subject and you look at it through repetitive exposure, which solidify the memories in our brains. This is how RCRT works. Now, as an outcome of RCRT, we deliver the following. Number one, a rapid learning ability through which students can compress their entire syllabus and complete a subject in 8 to 10 days. Number two, we teach them how to compress and comprehend their syllabus effortlessly. 3. RCRT helps enhanced memory and review. 4. Through RCRT, students learn how to summarize their subject matter in a particular way through which they can remember it easily. 5. We teach students how to remember their information properly, through which they can implement it and can replicate RCRT for each and every subject in their future. So, what are our motivations at Digital RCRT? The first and foremost motivation that we have at Digital RCRT is to teach students the technique through which they can complete their subject and replicate it to any subject that they want to. Number two, we want students to focus on other interests and move towards perfection and excellence. Number three, we want to empower students to develop the capability of scoring 100 on 100 effortlessly. This is very much possible. I myself have been an RCRT student. During my 10th grade, through RCRT, I was empowered to travel the world and be very confident. And you know what? I scored a 10 on 10 in my 10th grade. RCRT really works. We've been doing RCRT successfully for the last 15 years. RCRT has benefited thousands of students over the last 15 years. And on Digital RCRT, we have very well-educated and entrepreneurial individuals working to deliver best quality content to our students on a timely basis. Over the past few months, we've done mock trials of Digital RCRT. Let us hear from Manasvi Jadhav, a student from Thane, Maharashtra.
Everyone, I am Manasvi Jadhav and I have successfully completed the Digital RCRT course. Digital RCRT was a really good course. After I've completed it, I can read at least 100 pages an hour. I can revise a whole chapter within 5 to 10 minutes. I have successfully completed my 9th standard syllabus with these techniques that have been taught in this course. And it has made learning really easy and effortless for me. It has a companion series that is Vice Walk, which has beautiful techniques and tools for enhancing the lifestyle. And it was really good. I love this course. Thank you.
Yes, so that is Digital RCRT for you all. Digital RCRT is one of the world's most powerful learning techniques. Through Digital RCRT, one can finish their syllabus in just 8 to 10 days, their subject in just 8 to 10 days, and later they can finish their whole year's syllabus in just 2 months. Imagine what students can do with all the time that they have. They can invest that in learning new skills, in upgrading themselves, and maybe some students can even finish significant syllabus throughout the year. Thank you. Back to you, Sarita.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. I am just wishing, had this been 30 years ago, it would have been a different world for me too. So I'm sure the parents today realize the importance of taking our children to the 21st century. And he has beautifully explained the simple technique of how RCRT will take them and lead them to a more powerful life. On this platform, I take this opportunity and invite one of the most dashing personality of RSVK, Shri Sanjay Thakurji. He is one amongst the many leaders trained by Guruji. He came across Guruji's wisdom way back in 1987, where he was just a student of law and chartered accountants in Mumbai. He has developed various modules on the basic of Siddha Samadhi Yoga program and an advanced module of leadership. This training enables its application in the corporate world. He has been personally coaching owners, CEOs through his leadership program and lead a balanced life. His trainings and programs are purely on voluntary basis. So I take this opportunity and invite Sanjay ji and speak to us his precious words.
Jai Gurudev, everyone. Hi. Jai Gurudev, everyone. For me, it's nothing of my precious words here, but when Siddhant informed about the launch of Digital RCRT, I just had a 1-minute audio of Pujya Guruji to share with him. And he felt so touched that he requested me only to introduce the context of that audio. So this audio is quite a lot many years back. And that was the session where Guruji, I wouldn't use the word predicted, but Guruji declared to us that how RCRT is going to go global and the spirit of RCRT, the content of RCRT, the structure and the methodology of RCRT is going to connect with the students of the future. So I am right now traveling, and I would request Siddhant, please, Siddhant, if you can just play that 1 minute audio. So as everyone has very wonderfully spoken about Pujya Guruji, and you would hear through this audio that how he could envision that this such a wonderful program is going to go global, and especially digitally, because if it was not for digital and if it was not for this pandemic, we wouldn't have had the occasion and the opportunity for Siddhant to innovate this whole digital concept. So Siddhant, it's a little difficult for me to play it from my system right now. If it is possible, if you can use your system to play this.
Yes, we're playing it.
Thank you. So, yeah.
Now this time we are able to do some very important and very interesting things in RCRT. We were able to make very big breakthroughs in RCRT also by being able to separate these activities and make them self-sufficient by themselves. You don't have to depend on the SSY route for them to grow. They can support SSY supports. But they are also capable of independently supporting themselves. So thanks to all the people who have done very basic and very long-standing work in each one of these areas. We are able to consolidate at one level. Now, what we are going to do will be the next level of consolidation. Lots and lots of people will find that expression for the Seva for the creativity. We have to attend the training programs and keep that activity alive by enrolling more people into your project. This was our dream before. 15 years back, this was our dream. Now it is becoming possible. We had already planned this way, but it couldn't be executed because we had not generated enough strength to do this. So we will enjoy the very free ground for your games, very big ground. So you have to create the Guru Shishya Parampara by yourself in these fields of Seva. It's a challenging job.
So I know the audio is not very clear, and this has been my mission since last 20 years. I do my best to edit Guruji's audio, and it was one such editing. Though I was present physically in that particular session, but it did not struck me then. But when I was hearing the audio and it coincided with, Siddhant's declaration of the Digital RCRT, so it just connected that, oh man, what a way to go. A person who is envisioning thing. I was there when he initiated. These were various projects. ISP is one such project which Guruji had launched. RCRT is one such project. Global Religious Harmony is one such project. Satya Sevak, Governance of Wisdom is one such project. So Guruji was launching all these projects. He never wanted us to be just the SSY teachers in the classroom. He wanted the rural development is one such project, ILRD. So he wanted us to be connected through various projects directly with society. And as Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai shared, that what kind of students, you know, a teacher wants. So Guruji just did not want us to be the class teachers or the course or the program teachers of SSY. He wanted us to live SSY in full spirit, you know, and connect with the society real time in various projects. He also mentioned, Dr. Radhakrishnan also mentioned about the reality. So yes, he wanted us to be the connectors of spirituality and reality, and that's how these projects were invented. So this was one of our first training program for such seva sadhaks. So far there were only SSY teachers training, and then Guruji said that no, before a person is given the Brahmana seat, which is the highest seat, he must also get into the Kshatriya training. He must also get into the Vaishya training. And that is where these Guru Seva Shibirs were launched. And before becoming an SSY teacher, Guruji connected all of us with these various wonderful projects. And while speaking about RCRT, he said that RCRT is really going to bring a revolution in the country. And I think today that revolution has been initiated by none other than Siddhant. So it's a very, very touching moment for me. You know, that you usually hear masters envisioning the future, but it's a great honor to serve, you know, this master whose futures and so many of visions, you know, through so many of our teachers, you know, have come true and realized. So thank you so much, Siddhant, to give me this opportunity. And it's a very touching moment. Thank you so much, Siddhant.
Thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for sharing with us such insightful things of Guruji. And one line which touched me was, yes, I agree with you. He wanted all his SSY teachers to live with full spirit. And that is what I also see in future. And I'm sure all the teachers who are present here will agree to it. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I am now so blessed to invite Guruji's mother, Ramadevi Amma, to be with us and grace this occasion with her blessings to further launch this digital RCRT. Due to her old age, maybe there will be some disturbance or something, so please be with us. Welcome, Ma. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev. I'm there with RCRT. The time is started. Guruji started the RCRT. I have been there with him, and I have been supporting him all the time. Now I am very happy that Siddhant has brought something else, and I wish him all the success in his life. I only hope he will progress very well, and my blessings are there for him.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Amma. Thank you so much for your blessings. So now, all have the question in your mind, how can we be a part of this RCRT? So I will be taking you forward and how you can enroll us with us for this RCRT program. How you can join the courses? First thing, life-changing experience. Students learn the technique and can flourish academically. So I invite all the parents and request you to refer to your friends, relatives, and their kids can benefit in lot. The energy exchange for this program is ₹7,999, and the coupon code launch, which is applicable till and valid till 13th December 2020. So to enroll now, what will you do? I will share with you our sites, which will also be put up in the chat, where you can connect to this link and join us. The sooner, the better. So the next, where you can connect us? Before that, I would like to conclude this thing. The conclusion of this whole program was that Digital RCRT is a revolutionary self-learning program through which students can complete one academic subject in 8 to 10 days. We promote independent and autonomous learning. We empower students and teach them how to learn their subjects. So this will enhance their skill and they will be ready for this 21st century. So please, please, please refer to your near and dear ones who can benefit this program. So how can you do that? In case you're not able to register, please call us on 9529915633. You can check the chat box for the link. You can also mail us to contact@digitalrcrt.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. To find us, just type in @Digital RCRT. And also, after this, we will be keeping the floor open to ask the question and round answers with Siddhant, who will further give us the deep insight about how this will be taken ahead. Over to you, Siddhant.
So first of all, before we start the question and answer session, I would like to thank each and every member who has contributed to the Digital RCRT course. Creating this course would not have been possible without the support of many people. Thank you to the video team. Thank you to the editing team. Thank you, Arundhati Ma. Thank you, Brahmi Didi. Thank you so many other people who have supported in developing this course. And mostly, thank you, Guruji, for blessing us with such wonderful knowledge. Now to start taking questions, please type in all your questions in the chat box and we will answer them one by one. The first question that we've got is, what's the age limit for Digital RCRT? Digital RCRT can be used by people of any age group, but this course has specifically been designed for students from the 6th grade all the way up till the university level. So anyone between the 6th grade and all the way up till the university level can take up Digital RCRT, even if you're studying medicine, law, or you're studying engineering, you can still take up RCRT. Miss Sadhana Ganpur, you've asked payment is only through card. Yes, online payment is only through card. If you would like to pay offline, please write an email to us, contact@digitalrcrt.com, or you can GPay us at, you can Google Pay on the given number, which is, one second. You can GPay on the number 95299-15633, rupees 7,999 rupees. So Miss Malini, you will be able to register your daughter who's in 8th ICSE. We teach the technique. So once you learn the technique, you can implement it to any subject that you want to. So for starting, she can start with either biology or chemistry or geography, and then she can apply the technique to subjects, for any subject from any date. Miss Hari Kumari, I am waiting for the last 15 years to do RCRT HMP course since my Guru Seva training in the year 2003. Now I am fortunate to have it. Is it not? Yes. Very true, Hari Kumari Amma. This course can be used by you at any time, and you just need to go online, purchase the course, or you can register through Google Pay or write to us over email. Mr. Venkat BV, from which date will the course start? The course is a self-learning autonomous course. It's pre-recorded. So if you buy today, you can start right away. Mr. Kannadasan, is it possible for RCRT team to visit and teach the kids? If you would like myself and my Digital RCRT team to come and visit your school, that is definitely possible. We have options for institutional packages for digital RCRT where a complete institution can take up RCRT. It will tremendously help the students. So does that answer your question, Mr. Kannadasan? Miss Deepa, will there be additional help like group coaching for kids? So Miss Deepa, Digital RCRT is a self-learning course. It's not a coaching class. We have tried Digital RCRT with many students and we have come out with the best option through which students can learn on their own. Yes, if you have any queries, you can call us. You can write to us over our email. You can contact us over social media. We are here to help you. Get in touch with us if you have any other queries. Does that answer your question, Ms. Deepa? Mr. Akshay Pawar, how many hours per day? So digital RCRT, we are teaching the technique. To learn the technique or for us to facilitate your children into the technique, it does not take too much time. The videos that are given for digital RCRT go up to a maximum of 20 minutes. Now, alongside digital RCRT, we are also giving students a special holistic development course, which can help them become more responsible and better adults. So, which is called Wise Walk. So digital RCRT, when you buy digital RCRT, you get the academic course digital RCRT and you also get Wise Walk, which is the holistic development course. In total, you might have to spend an hour watching the videos maximum, and then later you need to implement what we have taught you. Does that answer your question, Mr. Pawar? Mr. Jogesh Kumar, what is the validity for online learning will be available after enrollment? Could you please kindly rephrase your question so that we can better understand it? Are you trying to say that how will they learn, or the validity of the online learning course? Can you please type that in again? Thank you. Miss Malini, yes, your elder daughter can definitely take it up in her PUC. She can self-learn RCRT at home through our online portal, and then in her spare time, she can apply the technique to whatever subject she wants to and learn. Ms. Deepika Kashyap, how likely is it to develop a photographic memory with the help of this course? The likelihood is 100%. There is no question about whether the course works or not. It definitely works. Now, all we want to ask from students and parents is for you guys to follow all of our instructions and completely trust the process. That is all that is needed. If you follow our instructions 100%, you will get 100% desired results. Vedant Nilesh Ugare, how many hours per day? So, as I said earlier, maximum you'll have to spend an hour on the computer, and then you will have to study for at least 4 to 6 hours a day in your spare time. If you're unable to take up one full subject, take up half syllabus or take 3 to 4 chapters from the same subject. This will help you learn the technique, and then later on when you learn the technique, you can apply it to whatever subject, to whatever reading you want to. Devyani Narkhede, any age limit? Yes, the age limit is from 6th grade all the way up to university level, specifically to this course. But if you're an adult and you want to learn the technique, you definitely can sign up for the course as well. Eknath Hatte, from which class to join? You can start joining from the 6th grade. Gopi M, can we complete maths too? So in our physical camps, we did complete maths, but through the digital camp, we are still working on a different module through which students can complete their maths as well. I hope that answers your question. Chetan SY, sir, when does this course start? The course can start anytime you want it to start. I've pasted the link above. If you buy the course right away, you can start using it right away. It's up to you when you want to start the course. Jogesh Kumar, how long is the course? The course is spread across 10 days. So the video sessions are spread across 10 days where you would be able to learn a particular technique on a particular day. This will help you become independent learners and you will be able to experience the magic of speed reading as well. I hope that answers your question, Jogesh Kumar. Deepika Kashyap, do the videos have an expiration date after enrolling? Yes, the videos do have an expiration date after enrolling. The videos will be valid for 15 days after the day you start the course. So there's a limit of 15 days because we want students to complete the course within 15 days. This is because they would be able to learn the series of techniques in a particular manner, which will help them grow academically. Miss Malini, I will register right away. Please send the link to make payment. Miss Malini, you can scroll all the way up to a message that I've sent, which has all the details. There is a registration link, courses.digitalrcrt.com. You can check it and you would be able to buy the course. Jogesh Kumar, we can access the videos after enrollment. Is it whole life or certain period only we can watch the videos? You can watch the videos for 15 days, but in those 15 days, you can watch it for how many ever times you want to. Ms. Deepa, does it help in languages as well? If you're talking about learning languages like Hindi, Sanskrit, or Spanish through Digital RCRT, I'm afraid currently we don't have a module through which you can learn the language. We are working on that. But you definitely can apply Digital RCRT to a subject matter for another language. Let's say you're a good Hindi reader or a Marathi reader. You can apply Digital RCRT to that language as well. Rupali Naikwadi, how many days will it take to complete the course? So the course is spread across 10 days. We are giving students an extra buffer of 5 days. So just in case anything goes wrong, they would be able to go back, refresh themselves. The course will take a maximum of 10 days for the slowest student as well. Does that answer your question? Mr. Venkat BV, can you share the link? 1 second, let me share it again. Can this course available on YouTube? Bharat Verma, I'm sorry, Mr. Bharat, this course is not available on YouTube. You can go and buy the course on the payment link directly. Chetan SY, there's a link sent below. You can go and buy the course there. Shri, it is for 3 class. Could you please rephrase the question? I'm unable to answer this. Miss Nirupama Mukherjee, can you please send the details again, please? It's already posted below. What if we need guidance about the technique after expiry? So if you need guidance about the technique after expiry, which I am sure you will not need because we have delivered the technique in the perfect way. So on the learning platform, we've uploaded a course companion, a PDF course companion, which you can download and keep for yourself. We've also uploaded multiple PPTs and exercises through which that you can download and keep with yourself. The PPTs and course companions are yours to keep. Once you download the course companion and the PPT, it has all of the instructions needed through which you can complete Digital RCRT on your own without the videos as well. Mr. Ashok Saraf, great to see Guruji's projects taking new shape. Look forward to students of all schools everywhere to get benefits of this course without any financial restrictions affecting their chances. Let there be many sponsors gifting this forward. Definitely, Mr. Saraf, we also look forward to helping a lot of students. In fact, we are on our way to develop courses in conjunction with state governments in Hindi, Marathi, and various other languages. We want RCRT to reach each and every household. And in our future plan, we are also developing RCRT for foreign clients as well. Thank you. Rohit Kumar, does this course available, does this course available for graduate level? Especially I'm asking for subjects like history, geography, and other arts related to this subject. Yes, definitely you can apply RCRT to history and geography and other arts, I guess. So when you're doing RCRT at a university level, you might have to divide your chapters into subunits. Let's say because at the university levels, chapters might be anywhere between 45 to 100 pages. So try to divide your chapters into 30 pages so that you can compress it properly into a pictorial representation. Khushi S. Veera, is it recorded session or live session? The sessions are recorded, Miss Khushi. We want to reach as many people as possible, and this is possible only through the pre-recorded course. Venkat BV, the course will be active for 15 days from the date of purchase or from the date you start learning. So on the backhand, we have a panel where we can see when you start the course. So we will be manually entering 15 days from your side and from our side. So that the day you start, you will have 15 days to complete the course. Shri, this course I think is a little too early for third graders. You can probably try from the 6th grade because we need a certain level of maturity and a certain level of brain development after which students can take up RCRT. We'll definitely work on creating a module for students of below the 6th grade. So thank you for those insights. Ms. Shreya Malpani, are there different techniques for different classes or the techniques are same for all? A very good question. Thank you for asking this question. These techniques are the same for any learning. You want to learn 6th standard, it's the same. You want to learn 10th grade, it's the same. You want to learn university level, it's the same. It's the series of steps and processes that make the technique so unique. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm planning to purchase now and start next month or February. Is it possible? Mr. Venkat, that definitely is possible. Just write an email to us when you want to start the course, or you can email us right away, purchase the course and email us saying that, dear Siddhant, we would like to start the course on so and so date. We will activate it for you on the backhand. Does anyone have any other questions? Please type in your questions. Miss Malini, maybe you can write an email to us with your phone number. We'll call you right away and guide you through the whole registration process. Alternatively, you can pay on Google Pay on our number 95299156633. Please email us or WhatsApp us your child's name, their email address, their phone number, the city that you come from, and the country. ZK, the cost of the course is rupees at the moment for the launch offer. It is 7,999, but the MRP is 12,800. Jayashri Joshi, can it be conducted in rural area schools? Ms. Jayashri, the course can be conducted anywhere in India, abroad, rural, urban, anywhere. If there's a particular specification of creating the course in a particular language, we would like to tie up with you and we can develop that as well. Ms. Malini, the email is contact@digitalrcrt.com. Mr. Ravi Anand, hi Siddhant, will someone be able to follow and do this course in any country at this time? Yes, anyone with a textbook can learn digital RCRT. With a textbook or any book can learn digital RCRT from any country at this point. Miss Veerabhadra KM, how long this discount offer is available? This discount offer is available till the 13th evening. So you have 1 week, 1 day to avail this offer. Ms. Deepa, I'm thinking, what if my son is in 6th grade, does not complete on time? He is interested for initial days and after he loses interest. I've tried many courses like coding. So Ms. Deepa, these courses are very short. It will take barely 30 to 45 minutes for your child to learn the technique. As this course is a digital course, I think parents also need to motivate the students to a certain extent. And on top of this, realizing the fact that students may not get as motivated, we have included a special course called Wise Walk, through which students will gain knowledge on leadership, responsibility, and other hard-earned human values, which will in turn motivate them to finish Digital RCRT. We've got really good results for Digital RCRT. As you all heard, Manasvi Jadhav from Maharashtra, Thane, loved the course, and I hope your students love it too. Any other questions? I'm just going to type in the Google Pay number right here. If you guys want to 9529915633. This is our Google Pay number. You can this is our Google Pay number, and typing in the email address as well. Okay, Shreya Malpani, any AAP required? Can you please, any app required? No, there is no app required. You just need a web browser, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, Opera, any of these Internet Explorers. No, ma'am, you don't need an app. You need a web browser. That's all. Chandakiran Shekhawat, sir, request to mail this link to at least we all participants so we can register. Yes, Mr. Chandakiran, we will definitely be emailing you the whole email right after, the whole link right after we end this session. Miss Jayant Karvate, my daughter is in 5th now. Then how can I use this offer? You can buy the course and keep it, and then later on, once 5th grade is over or towards the end of 5th grade, you can email us to activate the course again. Miss Sarita, could you please take it ahead from here?
Yeah, sure. Siddhant, thank you so much, and I'm sure you have satisfied with your wonderful insight to everyone who has any queries. In case you have, please get in touch. We are putting the details again and again in the chat. Please connect to us and we'll be there for you to answer any other such queries. So I now thank everyone for being such a wonderful participant and letting us go through the whole of the RCRT. I thank all the dignitaries who has given us their valuable time, and especially Siddhant. At such a young age, he has shouldered a huge responsibility of creating leaders. So yes, Siddhant, would you like to end this program?
Yes.
So I would say the beginning of a new journey.
Yes, definitely. I'd just like to answer a few questions before we end. Can I get recording of today's link or program? Can I send it to my relatives who really need it? Yes, Mr. Surendra Lele, you can definitely send the registration link. We will also be uploading the edited version of this launch event on YouTube so that people from all around the world can take experience from this. Miss Frejo CF, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Children studying in 6th, 9th and 12th, do they need to different purchase? Yes, they need to purchase differently because we give completion certificates to each and every student. That is very important so that each and every student is able to learn on their own independently. Is there a WhatsApp or Telegram group? Ms. Deepa, once you register, you will be getting a link to join a Facebook group through which you can communicate with us directly. Ms. Harikumari, the envision of Pujya Guruji manifested on this day 5/12/20, landmark day. Blessings from all great masters to Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar. Thank you so much, Hari Kumari Amma, for your blessings. I thank everyone for your blessings and for congratulating us at this launch event. We can definitely have another webinar session. I will also send out emails for that if you guys still have queries, and we will support you in every way possible to the best extent. Our goal is to help students become academically independent.
Congratulations, Siddhant. I was wanting to do RCRT from a very long time. I've been associated with RSVK for almost 20 years, more than 20 years, I think, 99. I wanted to do RCRT, but it didn't happen. Now my children are eligible, so I'm so glad that you came up with Digital RCRT. And we are very blessed to have Guruji's vision going forward. Very happy this moment. Congratulations again. I want to do RCRT myself, so let my children do. I will learn RCRT also.
Yes, definitely. Even you can register yourself for Digital RCRT.
As Guruji says, there's no age for learning. So I think there's absolutely no age for learning. Any age we can learn. So that's how Guruji has given us this highest vision, the knowledge. So we are so blessed to have this knowledge. Deepest congratulations and blessings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone's blessings. Thank you everyone for being a part of this launch event. Before we end this session, I'm going to be pasting the link to purchase the course again, and our Google Pay number as well. Thank you so much for being wonderful attendees. It was a pleasure to have you here. And last question by Shri Krishna Roy. Are you planning to train teachers for RCRT? So when an institution purchases RCRT for their students, we will definitely guide the teachers on how to take RCRT forward in their environment. Thank you. And I request Sarita Ma to take it over from here.
Please register before this discount availability ends. That is on the 13th December 2020. And let your children benefit this technique to the max. Thank you, Siddharth, for giving me this opportunity to spread this knowledge along with you to so many people. Thank you, Arundhati Ma. Thank you, Amma. And thank you everyone present here for the blessings that you have and given to Siddharth for this wonderful journey he's taking ahead in Digital RCRT. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we will end this meeting with a note of again a thank you for being here and supporting us so much. On behalf of Siddhant, Arundhati Ma, Amma and Guruji and the team of RSVK, thank you once again.